Hello, guys. Whoa, whoa. I'm back. Day 36. And I must proceed to tweak the world of Raj Muuin. Man, that thing. Oh, I bet that stupid... No, actually. It just seems really loud. Do this. Okay. Well, I don't know. Now it's... Come on, let's not waste time. Okay. Stupid rat. Rata Burger. That was a good movie. Rata. So, yeah. Remember I was telling you yesterday about my cat? Being all kinds of unhappy and stuff? Well, yeah. Not too long after that video, I took him to the vet for an emergency, and it was actually really good that I did, because if I hadn't, he probably wouldn't have made it through the night. Of course, my bank account did not make it through the night. It was so expensive. He's going to be there until... This was last night. He will be there until tomorrow morning. It was something else. Not to get too verbose about it, but he got all stuffed up. Urinary stuff. Crystals. And unfortunately, if they get blocked, it can be fatal. It can be fatal. In fact, sometimes it can be fatal within a matter of hours. So if I had thought to see if he'd be better overnight, he wouldn't have been. So, yeah. I'm going to be paying this one off for a long time. Oh my god. And apparently, he was a murder ball. He's always... I mean, he's sort of a biter when playing, but he's never been... I think he took one swipe at Caffeine when she picked him up one time. I think. I might be misremembering, but he's overall been pretty good. And when when you have company, he lays low for maybe 5 minutes, and then he starts checking people out, and he's pretty friendly. He's just, he doesn't know that biting is not part of play, so he can get pretty worked up and do a little bit of damage, much less than he used to. So he's actually learned to knock it back a little bit. Still, apparently he was not kind to the vets overnight. But then again, what do you expect? I mean, he was in a traumatizing situation. No idea. I'm sort of a follower. I realize this is kind of a tangent, but I pay attention to UFO lore. I call it lore because obviously there's no proof. There's some pretty good evidence. Generally dating back from the origin, the 60s and 50s, when people first started reporting it, and they did not know each other, and there was no media picking up on any of the stuff yet. It wasn't popularized yet, so when people gave consistent accounts, despite the fact that they came from disparate parts of the world, sometimes parts of the world that were considered each other to be enemies, like Russia and the United States, and places like that, where there was no possibility of collaboration, much less media crossover, and yet they were describing identical circumstances, and I mean hugely consistent circumstances that after the first decade or so, that before it was still... Well, I'm going on a huge tangent. The point is, imagine you were abducted by aliens. You had absolutely no clue what or why they were doing what they were, all you know is you have no control over the situation. So there's painful parts. You don't know where you are. You can't do anything to stop what's happening. That's pretty much what the cat was going through. He had no going to the vet is probably like being abducted by aliens. Oh my god, poor cat. So that's going to be in the way. Well, maybe not. Maybe if I go down one. Okay, it's pretty tight quarters. Maybe I can go down one more. Do I even want to, though? I mean, I could potentially go up. I'm just trying to think of what to do now. Probably what I should do is wander off and get a little bit more blue stone. Eh? What you think? Is it already dark? No. Okay. This sky can be a little confusing, I guess. So yeah, poor cat, poor cat. I visited him after work today. I walked over to the vet. This is a different vet than I usually go to, but Sunday evening at like 8 o'clock in the evening, the other place was not open. Piss off. But this place, they were taking emergency cases, and it was just as well. Shush. 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 Your opinion was not solicited. Okay. Okay. Oh, I don't have any... Oh, that's nice soft stone. I forgot. Yeah, it was pretty horrible. I mean, literally. If you're listening, and you have pets, get pet insurance. I know people were telling me I probably should earlier, but I grew up with a lot of cats growing up, and a few dogs as well. Usually fewer dogs, but there was always a mixture of cats and dogs going on. And sure, they went to the vet for their yearly thing, and once or twice, this one cat named Moonface managed to get himself in trouble with geese, he got hit by like 2 cars, attacked by geese, some sort of cat fight where he got like an infected abscess, and he disappeared for 2 weeks at one point, and he finally actually just disappeared for good. But man, I think he just had every kind of encounter. He went through all of his lives. Sorry if it's dark. It really is. I mean, I keep forgetting the video comes out somewhat darker. Sorry about that. Oh, well, that's not really enough. Still, it'll get me through a couple swipes. Back here, please. Good enough. But, I mean, we never had stuff like this. And yet, with this crystallized pH business going on, it seems like everybody I know who has cats is going through the same thing. When I was growing up, it was a never heard of kind of issue. I'm sure it wasn't never heard of, but certainly never heard of by those of us who had lots of cats. And our cats got to go outdoors, and this cat certainly doesn't. I don't know if that makes a difference. It's probably in the food, maybe even in the water. I mean, look at all the horrible, horrible poison they feed us and call food. And if they're willing to do that to a human being, they're just as happy to do it to a cat or a dog. So there's that possibility. But I also suspect I had a bad experience when I went to Europe. I came back. I probably mentioned this, maybe on this, but I don't know. I mentioned it at some point somewhere on video, how I was off for nearly 3 weeks, 2.5, I think, and I had hired people to take care of my cat. They'd swing by once a day and put out food and make sure everything was fresh for him. I came back and there was a crap smell all the way down the hall, and none of the wet food had been given to him, and there was crap everywhere. And they didn't even bother to contact. They didn't say, hey, I'm not sure what to do about this because the cat's not doing this or is doing that. No, never heard a thing. Everything was fine. And then I get home and find out otherwise. So that was lovely. But 3 solid weeks of dry food. Cats, my cat loves the dry food, but they have to get... They typically eat food that is some 80% moisture. Like prey items. Bear with me as I lose my way. I think it's this way. I usually have to orient by the ocean. And, man, they hadn't given him any wet food the entire time. And cats do not have as strong an instinct to drink water as people do, because they so more typically get it, from the prey items. But he doesn't have prey items. He has... So he was usually, when I'm home, he gets a mixture, some dry, some because it's, less expensive, but also organic, so it's not as less expensive. But, he would get that and some wet. So I never had this problem before, but shortly thereafter, I got home and found out all this stuff, and the fact that apparently he had changed his habits and he was crapping all over the place and all these wonderful things that you guys specifically came here to listen to. He had to go in once because of this crystallization business, and then again. Turns out it had not gone away. In fact, this time he came pretty close to being life-threatening scenario because of it. So I'm thrilled. And it cost, the minimum is $2,960 something. Maximum, if he doesn't relapse, maximum is $4,400. So, and they said there's a 30% chance just because of operation and all this stuff that he'll be inflamed, and that could lead to an immediate relapse, which would and if he gets blocked up again, he has to go right back to the ER, the pet ER, I guess. And if that happens, I have no clue how I'm supposed to afford it. I just don't know. So I don't have that much to spare. So I'm flustered and upset. But anyways, I visited the cat after work today. Apparently he had been a bit of a murder ball. Did some damage to one of the vets. They were more than understanding about it, but still. I just assumed he didn't do that. Bake some of this stone. Got such a variety. Whoops. Dang it. But he perked right up for when I got there. And apparently, he ate. He's not much of a wet food eater, like I said, but he did for me. And the vets were like, oh, that's nice. And we couldn't get him to eat anything. Ah, poor cat. Poor wallet. Hey! What do you think you're doing? That is forbidden. Boy. Meanwhile, apparently something... Oh, seeds work better. Yeah. I was planning on... because with my fiance overseas and stuff, traveling back and forth has been expensive. And the first time, I just completely misjudged how expensive it was going to be. So I was paying down that for a while. And, those particular expenses are long past, but other expenses are always coming along. So it takes a while to pay down. Come on, give me more than one. There you go. Oh. Sorry, I'm not working on things, am I? Oh, well, I'm waiting for stuff to burn. Okay, well, I was, I think early spring, I was set to be zero balance on everything, completely no, other than mortgage, absolutely nothing hanging over my head. That's not going to happen now. Oh my gosh, by the time I get to where I would have been zeroed out, I'll now have plus interest, Good. I don't even want to guess. It's that much longer. I mean, I'll make it, but it's just horrible. So yeah, like I said earlier and got sidetracked, if you have a pet, don't not get insurance. The insurance will not cover this. Now that I'm getting some, it will not cover this, but sort of an eye-opener that, things happen to cats and dogs and, your illegal koala and python and koala-python hybrid. Yeah, you've got to insure them, especially your koala-python hybrid. Well, that's going to take a long time to burn, so I'm going to bed. Thank you for watching. That was day 36. Come back again, please, for 37. And spread the news that I'm doing this awesome thing that so many other people are doing too on the YouTubes. Alright, good night.